What is up, guys? My name is KG, and I'm back with another message. In today's episode, I'll like to talk to you guys about Black consciousness. So, guys, what is Black consciousness actually? Well, Black consciousness is not a political movement, but a freeing of an oppressed mind. Steve Biko wanted to ignite a particular flame. He wanted to awaken a particular consciousness in the psyche of the previously oppressed. Though he is no longer with us, the essence of his message lingers on. We ought to honor his legacy by picking up where he left off. Biko wanted us to realize that contrary to what our previous oppressors have instilled in our consciousness, Black does not equal inferiority. He wanted us to realize that we too, just like any other race, can be anything we aspire to be. Our biggest problem is that our minds are held by historical chains, most of which are psychological. Yet the irony is that we have the keys to unchain ourselves, but only a few are beginning to use those keys of self-liberation. In his song, Redemption Songs, Bob Marley says, "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds." There are deeply entrenched limits in the minds of the majority of Black people, which must be transcended if we are to become equal participants in the economy of the world. History, through things like the colonization of Africa and the oppression of Black people in various parts of the world, has disadvantaged Black people in different and significant ways. Although oppression and colonization in the traditional sense no longer exist, they still exist in a discrete form as evidenced by the widespread economic inequality that exists in the world. The rich natural resources of Africa are not owned nor controlled by Africans. So in that sense, colonization, oppression, and slavery are still very much in place. The global economy was designed to disadvantage some while benefiting others. What further perpetuates the situation is then the widespread self-sabotage of Black people because of what the colonizers and our oppressors have conditioned us to believe about ourselves. For example, people of African descent account for about 16% of the overall population of the world. Whites, on the other hand, account for about 11% of the population of the world. Yet, there are only 12 Black billionaires currently and more than 1,000 white ones. Again, the architecture of the global economic system intentionally favored the oppressor and the colonizer. But what I believe was more damaging than the global oppression of Africans itself was the psychological conditioning of the African people. This manifests in our general lack of confidence to venture into entrepreneurship, for example, our lack of innovation, our entitlement mindset, our dependency on the state to give us grants, and so on and so forth. Yes, we are victims of a very oppressive global system. That is factual. But at the same time, our own self-image makes our condition even worse. And to be honest, our condition should not be surprising because years of mental slavery and brainwashing are bound to result in some type of inferiority complex. But like I said, even though our past as a race was disadvantageous, our thinking, especially as it relates to how we see ourselves, needs to change so that we may start reclaiming our rightful place in the global economy. Economic freedom is our immediate challenge. We need to evolve or die. We need to rise above our limitations or forever remain the race mostly stricken by poverty. We need to do things differently so that we may start generating lasting wealth for ourselves and our families. We need to start inventing things. We need more entrepreneurs and innovators. We can't all be entertainers or employees while our communities are in desperate need of entrepreneurial development and economic stimuli. Our biggest role in the world economic chain at the moment is consumption. Though we buy the most, we produce the least. Yet we have the equal talent to create products of value that other races can also consume. I hope that one day, as the black race, we will wake up and reclaim our power back, because there is greatness in our DNA. We come from a long line of wealthy kings and queens. The great Mansa Musa, the wealthiest man to ever live, was an African from Mali. Our oppressive past can't keep us disadvantaged forever if we can start seeing ourselves as a great race, full of capable, talented, and innovative people. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Black consciousness.